The question about the trustworthiness of Scripture is an essential question for us to wrestle with, to think through. Because if the Bible is reliable, then the implications that it has are nothing less than life-transforming and changing. Many people claim that the Bible is not trustworthy or reliable, and it's often based upon second and third-hand information. So they hear, well, I hear it's got contradictions. Most people, if you were pressing them hard, can you name one of the contradictions you're appealing to, would be hard-pressed to do it. And indeed, these contradictions, so-called, turn out to be actually not contradictions, but actually putting the texts together, we see that the Scriptures are incredibly consistent. And they test that no other document from the Greco-Roman world ever could pass. When we think about the documents themselves, its reliability, I'm going to focus here on the New Testament. There's the bibliographic test, and that has to do with the manuscript evidence that we have for the New Testament. The reality is that it deals with the quality of the manuscripts, the quantity, and the time span. If we consider the quality, the quantity, there are over 14,000 New Testament manuscripts, really growing in number, just over about 6,000 Greek manuscripts alone. And the number of these is unprecedented in the ancient world in comparison to the numbers of copies we have from writers like Plato or Aristotle or Tacitus or Suetonius or Livy, Caesar. These are small, small numbers of manuscripts. And moreover, in terms of their quality, the quality of the manuscripts for the Old Testament are unprecedented, extraordinarily reliable. For the New Testament, extremely good as well, because we have here an ability to compare various alternative readings. The number of variant readings in the Scriptures in the New Testament is very small in terms of anything that would have any noteworthy bearing. Very minor. In fact, no text variations would be sufficient to affect even the smallest matter of faith or practice. And so we have a tremendous reliability, and through textual criticism, we can even generally determine which reading, when there's slight variations, best accounts for the other readings. So in terms of quantity, unprecedented. In terms of quality, more excellent than anything in the Greco-Roman world. And then third, in terms of the time span, this is extremely powerful, because we have some papyrus manuscripts that have been collected that go not just within a century, but some go within decades of the original, as in the case of the Chester Beatty and the Bodmer papyri, where in some cases they go within only a few decades of the Gospel of John. Nothing like this, because if you look at Caesar, Livy, Tacitus, Suetonius, our earliest manuscript in terms of when it was written and our earliest copy is usually about 1,000+ years. In the case of the New Testament, we have a huge number of manuscripts that are dated within just a couple of centuries of the original. And so it's just, again, unprecedented. Often what will happen, I find, is there's a double standard. Many people will not want to believe in the Bible, but they'll trust Plato or Caesar. And they'll do it because, I think, the Scriptures reveal something about our human hearts. It's not just history, it's revealing something about the living God. And there is, in fact, something in the heart that would want us to be biased against that. But my point is this: if your standard is so high that you have to eliminate the Scriptures to support your view, you would long since have had to abandon all your knowledge of the classic world before you started to do that. So there's an inconsistency. The Bible, furthermore, is unique in its production, in its preservation, how it was preserved, how it makes proclamations that are found nowhere else, and the way it has shaped and influenced history in a way that no other book has ever done. So I believe that the Bible really is trustworthy and reliable.